Welcome back to Chasing News. I'm Bill Spadia. We got a lot more show coming up for you. Hurricane Irma on the horizon and your wet weekend forecast. All that coming up. Plus, the one thing you've got to do this Labor Day weekend. Everybody's doing it. More on that in a bit. But first, Columbus. Christopher Columbus statues under attack, defiled, defaced. This time in Queens, somebody stenciled on the statue, "Don't honor genocide." This is the second time in a week that a Christopher Columbus statue has been attacked. Earlier in the week, a statue in Yonkers, they crushed the head. And as you've heard often, and it's been debated over and over again, they're talking about taking down the Columbus statue in Columbus Circle. I want to bring in my expert all-star panel. Shavonda Sumter, member of the New Jersey Assembly. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Bill.
Vinnie Brand, small business owner, New Brunswick. Comedy Club, The Stress Factory.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
All right. Shavonda, what do you think of this?
Bill, it's misplaced hatred. It continues. I'm proud of Mayor de Blasio for recommending a commission to review where statues should be placed and the safety of them so people can celebrate their heritage and celebrate who they support. But to continue to write these neo-Nazi racial epithets and to continue this hatred, we must stop. Enough is enough.
Vinnie, do you agree, though, with what Shavonda said in terms of Mayor de Blasio? De Blasio commissioned this group to say, we're going to explore it. Doesn't that invite all kinds of criticism? I think he's encouraging people to defile these statues.
This is all just reactionary garbage. And the way that I know that that's true for me is that you didn't hear about any of this 4 weeks ago. This is all now being driven by the news cycle. Where was the outrage about the Columbus Circle and statue 3 years ago?
Do you think that elected officials do bear some responsibility, especially when they politicize the conversation, instead of taking in context what President Trump said, that there are violent people on both sides and everything has to calm down?
Bill, Vinnie, there is no context. There is no context. Hatred is hatred. And again, I thought in my time, the time that I'm raising my children, these times that we eradicated those hate messages, that we can live together as one. That was Dr. King's dream. We're still having these same battles, and if you hadn't heard of them in 3 years, you've been under a rock, because they have existed. Now, when it's on your street, you may take it a little differently than when it's constantly been on some of our streets of the other ethnic groups. So right now, we all need to take a breath, take a pause, and let's take a look at how we work together as people for the betterment of humanity, and elected officials do have a
I think
role.
you've said that really well. I think it is important, though, and it sounds to me like you are providing context, that there are bad people on both sides of all these debates, and the violence is the problem, and everybody's got to dial it back.
Absolutely.
Because there is a process that these things can be worked out. All right, we're going to leave that there and switch gears. New Jersey Transit, they're saying, safe, the summer of hell is over. But are you safe on your commute to Penn Station? Rohan Mohanty has the full story.
Well, guys, Labor Day weekend is here, the great escape towards the last long weekend of summer. Now, I'm at the Hamilton, New Jersey Transit Station, where riders from New York told me a little bit about their trip.
A little crowded getting on, but other than that, nothing.
It was easy.
It was easy?
Yeah,
because you got out a little early today? Now, it's been quite a summer, but Amtrak and New Jersey Transit are using this push into Labor Day when we're all in a good mood to try to Jedi mind trick us a little bit, to forget the copious amount of delays, the train malfunctions, and also the deadly derailments that we've seen recently, but not so fast. The answer to some of those malfunctions, derailments, and many of those delays could just lie in a federal audit that was just performed that detailed rampant abuse by New Jersey Transit employees. It showed that a number of their employees abused the Family Medical Leave Act to take unscheduled time off. That led to crew shortages, which led to train delays and cancellations, and even safety concerns because repairs that were scheduled were delayed. Now, the federal inspector is recommending fines for New Jersey Transit. Now, moving along to Amtrak, they're telling us that they've worked around the clock to complete much needed New York Penn Station repairs. They said 360 employees worked around the clock to install 6 football fields worth of rails and lots of other items. But could the commuters tell the difference?
What used to be, you used to get home at 1:30 when you got off at 12. Now you get home at 3 in the morning.
Man.
So they really did it.
Well, guys, goodbye to the summer of hell and hello to frightening fall. No one's wasting time to head on to Labor Day. Me either. Later.
Thank you, Rohan. All right, so the summer of hell, it's over. but are you safe? So why don't I start with you, Vinny, because you've ridden NJ Transit, you hear this.
Yeah.
Amtrak says, hey, we're done. New Jersey Transit says, don't worry about anything. But can you trust them?
I don't, because this is the same group of people that ran the trains on horrendously dangerous tracks forever. And it wasn't until their hands were forced that they had to go make repairs, and now they're going, hey, it's good. I don't trust them. I don't think anybody should. I mean, you're getting on a train, you're hurtling 80 miles down the track, and you're trusting people that ran unsafe tracks? No.
Shavonda, what do you think? Especially in light of the federal investigation from the Department of Labor now into their labor practices. I mean, there's a lot going on in New Jersey Transit. Do you feel that commuters are safe?
Bill, the great thing is they finally have a win where commuters can actually take a train and get to their destinations. The other piece is the Joint Legislative Oversight Committee has been meeting with NJ Transit looking for answers for my tenure in the legislature. We have a lot of work to do, and by far they still need to come up to standard infrastructure investment. We're long overdue. We can't keep kicking the can down the road, and I know you've heard that a gazillion times. Now we finally have to do it for life safety purposes.
Do you blame anyone, though? I mean, we heard about potentially the positive train control, or the lack of it, was a contributor to the accident that killed a woman in Hoboken.
Leadership. Leadership is critical. We can no longer ignore the safety needs of the public. So leadership needs to change, and their leadership needs to be responsible. That's why we have them before our Legislative Oversight Committee.
So what I'm hearing her say is, no, it's not safer yet. We're going to get there someday down the line. And that's the problem. Look, you have to take the train, take the train. But don't take the train with the illusion that you're safe, because she's telling you we have more work to do. And now we're talking about it. Look, this has been ignored forever. What makes you think that a 90-day time period suddenly you're going to wave a magic wand and it's safe?
Shavonda, I had Assemblyman John McCann on yesterday. He's the
Great
head
guy.
of the Judiciary Committee.
Yes.
He is heading up this oversight committee, or is on the oversight committee. But the question is, is this too much of the blame game? I mean, everybody's pointing the finger, and it doesn't seem that anybody in the Assembly has taken any responsibility.
Bill, it's hard for the Assembly to take responsibility when you have appointments from the governor that's on that board, where you have the governor not moving to make sure infrastructure investments are there and saying, we don't need to worry about that. Well, guess what? Truth's in the pudding. We do need to worry about that. We had some derailments, Hoboken this year, that was tragic. So let's make sure that we're keeping people safe and continue to move the needle.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Vinny Brand, always good to see you. Thank you for coming on. Shavonda, thank you.
Thank you,
appreciated
Bill.
the conversation today, and both of your insights. We'll have you back soon for sure.
Great.
All right, let me introduce Dan Zarrow with a look at your wet Labor Day weekend weather. And Irma, is it going to affect us?